And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Hey YouTube, what's good? What's good, what's good, what's good? Hey. Hey guys, I am Caleb Graham. Welcome to The Mix. We are live on YouTube right now. And I need to mute this. Hold on. That's the live feed there, the live feed that you hear. Anyway, like I said, I'm Caleb Graham. Welcome to The Mix. It is Sunday, September 6th, 2015. It has been quite a week. I have a few things to talk about, and I'm going to get there in just a second. I had a really fun week since we were here last. I worked. Some friends of mine, the Hiltons, came to visit. I spent pretty much all day yesterday at Magic Kingdom playing with them. Saw them a couple nights ago at Hollywood Studios as well. And it was a really fun weekend. It's always fun when they come to visit. I've known them for quite a long time. And they are very dear friends. Also spent most of the week hiding from the King Cobra that got released here in Orlando. Absolutely fantastic. Just kidding, not really. We had a man who lives in the Orlando area who has a license to keep animals like that in his home. He apparently has other reptiles and things of that nature. He has had some of them escape in the past, and another one has escaped now. Also, I haven't had breakfast yet, so I have some trail mix that I might snack on throughout the show. Anyway, this King Cobra, 8 foot long, got out. Been on the run for like a week now, probably, because he didn't tell anybody until like a day had passed already that it was gone. They haven't found it. However, it's been quite comical because this King Cobra has been all over social media. He has several different Twitter accounts, and it's hilarious. They'll put pictures of him in local places, like at the parks at Disney World, in Harry Potter World at Universal, at the Orlando Eye. There's been all sorts of pictures where people have photoshopped this Cobra into some local areas, and it's really funny because can't find him. Anyway, moving on. I forgot to say this at the beginning of the show, but I would love for you guys to follow me and tweet me on Twitter during this live broadcast. You can find me on Twitter at Caleb Graham, and then use the hashtag #TheMix. All of that's there on the bottom of your screen. And also you can chat on the right-hand side of this broadcast. If you're looking at it on YouTube, there's a place where you can chat and leave some comments and such if you so choose to. And then give me just 1 second. I'm going to close out some of these things to see if that'll cause this delay to stop. Because it's quite frustrating at the moment to see this delay happening. And if there's no delay while you're actually watching it, I apologize for this. But on what I'm seeing, there's a little bit of one. Okay. So follow me on Twitter, hashtag #TheMix. And you can do it now, live while you're watching, or later on if you're watching this later as a playback. Either way, if you have something to say about what we're talking about, I would love to talk to you about it and tweet you back. I also spent a lot of my week walking around quoting this epic argument. Well, I don't know if you should call it argument, but this duel between Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus from last Sunday's VMAs. What's good? I think it's hilarious. It's been all over Twitter, all over Facebook and Instagram. The memes that I'm seeing and the GIFs are just fantastic. I'm in love with this feud. It's going to be one of those that goes down in the books, okay? Now, I'm going to get really serious for a second, so bear with me. There was some really big news last week, and I think I might have mentioned it on one of the shows, but I don't remember. So I'm going to bring it up again because it's really big. It's kind of life-changing, especially for me, and I know a lot of other people in the world. But Bluebell is back in stores. OMG! I'm so excited. Okay, so when I was growing up, that's the only kind of ice cream we ever really had in our house. And then I had it a lot ever since then, too. It's like the only kind of ice cream that I ever buy. And as we all know, as the world has mourned, 4 months ago, they had an outbreak of listeria in some of their plants, and mostly in their main one. And Bluebell decided to take all that off the shelves. All of it went bye-bye. They even pulled it out of the cafeterias where I work, and it has been gone. Like ixnay on the Bluebell. It has been gone, gone, gone. Well, the good news is it is back. And I know I couldn't be happier. Like I said, the world has mourned this Bluebell being gone. It has been one of the biggest tragedies, I think, in food and beverage history, as far as I'm concerned, because the Bluebell milkshakes that I make are probably the best milkshakes that you would ever have in your life. I only make 2 flavors, which are vanilla and chocolate. But as soon as I get some more Bluebell in my freezer, I'm going to experiment with a peanut butter and jelly milkshake like the one they have at Hollywood Studios at Disney, because that is actually my favorite milkshake because it tastes amazing. I know it doesn't sound like it would, but it does. So I'm going to attempt to make one of those. We'll see how that works out. But they apparently Bluebell began putting the ice cream back on shelves on the 31st of August. And I have not gone yet to look for it, but I'm going to. And trust me, I'm going to document it because I am so super excited. I can't wait to have some Bluebell in my life again. This next story I saw on Twitter this morning, and it hit home because, as you all know, I'm going to school for journalism and broadcasting. And last week, there were some reporters from Vice News, which is a US-based news organization. They're primarily known, well, they have become known for their kind of dangerous reporting, if you will, going to dangerous places. They have had access to Syria since ISIS has been in control. They kind of go where nobody else will go at times. And I think last week it was 2 or 3 of their employees, the 2 reporters who were British from the UK. They were British reporters. Jake, I'm sorry if I say this wrong, Hanrahan, not sure, and Philip Pendlebury, as well as their translator, who was an Iraqi named Mohammed Ismail Rasul. And he has worked for Vice. He's also worked for the Associated Press and Al Jazeera, according to the article that I read. All 3 of them were charged with aiding terrorist organizations. And I don't know how, based on what they were reporting, that made them out to be terrorists. They were there in one of the Turkish cities, and they were reporting on, based on what I read, they were reporting on tensions between the young people of that particular city and the police. And they initially were arrested for not having properly issued government ID. But then they went on to say that they were aiding a terrorist organization by being there. I'm gonna look into this a little bit more before tomorrow's show to see if I can find out more information on that. But this was an article that I found from Twitter. But 2 of them have been released. That's the good news. Is actually 2 of the 3 that were arrested have been released. The 2 British reporters have been released. The Turkish court did let them go. The Vice News organization put out a statement, and I have a little bit of a quote from that statement. And it says, "While we are grateful that they have been freed, we are deeply worried about reports that our other Vice News colleague, Mohammed Ismail Rasul, has had his appeal of release rejected by the Turkish government." And then it went on to say that we call on the Turkish authorities for a swift end to this unjust detainment and to grant his immediate release. This kind of goes into what I was talking about earlier last week about reporters and being persecuted for just trying to report the news. I I'm not sure how I feel. There has to be something done about this, I think. Reporters shouldn't be scared to do their job because reporters are supposed to be neutral. And yes, in today's world, you see more opinions from reporters than probably you should. I mean, obviously, I'm giving my opinion right now on the show, but I'm not an official professional reporter yet. So I just research things on my own and talk about them on this show. Obviously, I want to be able to do more than that, but that's what I'm working towards by being in school. Anyway, it's great that they were released. I feel like sometimes journalists are often arrested and put into jail and prison, taken into custody for the wrong reasons and for just doing their job. And it's very sad. And I hope that the media will begin to stand up for itself. People will begin to back these journalists and keep them from getting into these kinds of situations. It's just not fair, I don't think. I mean, according to the reports, these three were just there doing their job, and they were considered terrorists just for doing their job. I don't understand. But hopefully this other guy is not a terrorist, and none of them are terrorists, and that he will be released very soon. I am going to try to keep it short today. So before we run out of time, I want to talk about some of this presidential election stuff that's going on, because some big things happened, especially just in the last 24 hours. The first one, I haven't really talked about where I stand on politics much on this show because I don't really feel like it's important. And as trying to be a journalist person, I shouldn't probably necessarily always talk about whatever. But after that first Republican debate, I don't consider, I've said this before, I don't consider myself Republican or Democrat. I lean more towards the middle, I think, and the independent side, because I'm going to vote for the people that I agree with the most. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily go all Republican or all Democrat, because there's some things that Republicans say that I don't agree with. There's some things that Democrats say that I don't agree with. And then there's some that each of them say that I like. So I kind of have to pick based on that. But I was very impressed by Carly Fiorina in that first Republican debate. She was in the they called it I think the junior high one, because she was in the first one that happened earlier in the evening with the people that were lower in the polls. But she went up, and she has been up in the top 5 pretty much since then, in most of the polls, which is really great because she came with a fight and people recognized it and liked it. I personally was very impressed by her. And there's been she's been fighting recently because this next debate that's coming up in a week or so, which is on September 16th on CNN, she has said that it wasn't fair. She wasn't going to get to be in there because they were basing who they chose for their debate on much older polls instead of what's happening now in the new stuff. So she's been campaigning a lot to change that so that she could have an opportunity maybe to be in that debate. Well, the Republican National Convention and CNN finally listened, and they changed their debate rules. So it's looking like now she's going to get to be on that stage for that September 16th debate, which is going to be great because a lot of people that don't even still know who she is are going to find out. And I'm super excited about it. I will definitely be watching and tweeting, and then we will talk about it on this show because those debates have been pretty good television for a while, and also important television. We'll put that out there. It's not just there for entertainment, although that's why a lot of people watch the first one. But I really hope that people will watch it to hear what the candidates have to say about their policies and what they would do as president, instead of just watching it to see what Donald Trump is going to say and who he's going to fight with, because that's stupid. That's not a reason to be interested in politics. But I guess in a good way, or in a way, it is good that people are paying attention because of that, because it, like I said, it's getting people talking about it and they're paying attention. So, but the top 3 in the Republican side right now are Donald Trump, Carly Fiorina, and Ben Carson. Not necessarily in that order. Donald Trump, I think, is still up pretty high, if not number 1. I haven't checked on them much in the past couple of days, but there was one that I saw where I think Ben Carson had gone above Donald Trump. But none of the 3 of them are career politicians. They're all kind of outsiders, if you will. They haven't spent their life in politics. And I think that that's what people are like. That's what people like, because and that's why they're so high, is because these people who are career Republicans, career politicians, everybody's mad at and frustrated with. So they don't want them there. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens because of that reason. So I'm definitely gonna be paying attention. I hope that you will too. On the Democratic side, there was a new poll, I think, that came out today that put Bernie Sanders ahead of Hillary Clinton. She's losing a lot of her momentum, and it's because of, like I said last week, the junk that she's saying. It either doesn't make sense, or it's obvious that she's lying, or she's talking around things that she doesn't want to talk about. And you can't do that. I'm sorry, but you can't do that. You can't just ignore what's going on. People don't like that. People don't like to be ignored. They want their questions answered. They want to know about things. So I think this whole email thing has hurt her a lot. A lot of people said early on before that this would probably hurt her, and it's showing in the poll. So we'll see what happens. I'm really excited about it. This is the biggest, I think, momentum that a presidential election has had in a long time. So it's gonna be interesting. Again, sorry for eating. I stuffed my face this weekend. Yesterday especially, I ate, I think, 4 meals. I had a small breakfast before I went to work. I ate lunch after work. Then I had a second lunch at the Magic Kingdom with the Hiltons when I went to play with them. Then I had a snack when I came home. Then I went over to their condo after and had, I think, 4 slices of pizza and a cookie and a Reese's, half of a giant Reese's cup, and ice cream. So I probably gained 10 pounds yesterday. That's why this shirt is really tight today. But it was great. It was a fun weekend, and I loved them, and we had a really good time. And it was hot outside, but, you know, we still had a good time. I want you guys to, that's it. I'm pretty much running out of time for this one today, for this show. But I want to say, make sure you come back on Tuesday. Go to my Facebook, facebook.com/CalebGrahamOfficial, and click on the events up at the top next to the profile picture. And I'm going to be back on Tuesday because my favorite talk show, The View, is back on Tuesday for season 19. They've been putting out the cutest promos with all the new girls, and I'm super excited to watch, and especially to see Joy Behar back on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tuesday's show is going to be mostly about that. I'm going to be talking about The View. So tune in at 1 o'clock Eastern time here on YouTube. The link is posted on Facebook. And like I said, facebook.com/CalebGrahamOfficial for that. You can find it. Then, hey, if you're going to go look at me on Facebook, you might as well hit the like button after you look for that event. Then you might as well go on to all my other social media and like, subscribe, follow, and tweet, twat, whatever. Sorry. Whatever you want to do on that. That's at Caleb Graham on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. You can follow me, like, and whatever on all of those, all 3. Then I have a website, GIOTVonline.com. That's GIOTVonline.com. And there I post blogs, photos, videos, everything's there. And then, of course, you can subscribe right here and always see me on YouTube, youtube.com/GIOTVonline. Again, that is GIOTV online on YouTube. That's it for today. Pretty quick show, lots of fun. Please, please, please help me out and talk to me. Tell me what you want to see, what you want to talk about, what you want me to talk about. I would really, really, really love to have a co-host, whether it be somebody calling in here on Google Hangouts or joining me here in my studio, which is my dining room/living room. Lots of new things coming for me. Going to be talking about it, I promise, as more information is available and I'm able to talk about it. So be on the lookout for that. And be sure to come back on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and I will see you then. Thank you again so much for watching. Hey, have a lot of fun today. Do something fun and add something new to the mix, and I will see you next time. Bye. Gonna go eat now.